I'll come back for you!
Hey, no! You gotta sit tight while I figure out a way out of this.
It's okay, Brok. I know I was mixed up before, but now I'm groovy. I'm going ahead with the mission. Lock and load!
That's not a gun, Hank.
Whatever!
Hi, welcome to Venture Bros, Venture Brothers podcast, brought to you by After the Hype. With me, your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Graham.
Hi.
Yeah, like I said,
it's me.
I had
Just
nothing.
Graham.
No, hold on, I could do this. Graham the Dirtbag Mason. I like that.
Wow, I'm flattered. Thank
Just
you.
a real
No, it's like I
scumbag.
like gardening, so like a bag of dirt is a good thing because you need
Not
it to.
not like soil or like topsoil or
No, dirt bag.
Miracle Grow or
Like a real solid dirt bag. Not
Right.
too solid because you want to grow things in it. But you know.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, wonderful.
But,
No,
like,
thank you.
Yeah, like the good ones, like that's already mixed with bullshit and stuff. You know.
Yeah, certainly full of bullshit. This dirt bag.
I think that is the scientific farmer's term, is bullshit.
Yeah.
Manure works too, but yeah, bullshit's fine.
Yeah.
I can tell you're a city slicker, Graham.
Yeah. And then Richard, I didn't have time to think of a nickname. Lee.
I'm surprised you brought me back.
Yeah.
Got
Here
real
again.
racist last time.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
So this week we are talking Love-Bheits or Beheats or however you want to pronounce it.
It's bites.
I said however you want to pronounce it. So if I want to say Beheats, I'm going to say
Bites
Beheats.
is the way that you would want to pronounce it.
What if I want to say Beheats?
Then you'd be wrong. And you shouldn't do that.
You realize that now I'm going to say Beheats the rest of the episode. I don't know how many times I'm going to say the episode title, but when I do, it'll be Beheats. So Graham, do you want to say everything that happens in Love-Bheits?
No.
Would you like me to summarize Love-Bheits? No, I went last week.
No, it's not your turn. It's Graham's turn to talk about Love-Bheits.
Okay. So the Venture family is coming back from a costume party in which they lost. Thanks to Hank. And then, meanwhile, as they're flying back, they're trying to navigate around Underland. But, unfortunately, Baron von Underbite has different plans. And so he uses his crazy, ridiculous magnet thing to pull the plane into Underland. And they just make it out. The plane crashes and all that stuff, but the cockpit lands on the outside of Underland in Detroit, in Michigan,
Yeah.
I think. But unfortunately, after they had already landed, the ejector seat shoots them back into Underland. So now they are captured and gonna be potentially tortured and killed and, whatever Underbite has in store for them. Including, Underbite finds that he's quite attracted to Venture's daughter, Dawn, who then he proceeds to marry. And then just kind of ridiculousness happens throughout the episode. We get the reintroduction of Catclops and Girl Hitler, which is incredible, and their resistance force, which is pretty awesome. And I don't know. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So again, before we jump too far into it, let's do hot takes around the table, or around the E table, if you will. What do you guys think of this one? I know this one, when you look it up online, is not one of the more popular episodes of this season.
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. It's good. It's fun. Um, but it's definitely not one of those episodes. Like, if I were just going to grab an episode, to watch throughout the day, it's not one that I would seek out. But it's fun.
Yeah. Richard, what do you think?
I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. I think it's like really. It has a good story plot structure, like from beginning, middle, end. Mm-hmm. There's like a good sort of like resolution that makes sense. That's also funny.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you guys are pretty much right on the money. I don't think it's a bad episode by any stretch. I don't think any episode in season 2 is bad. Like season 2 is just so strong all the way through, and I think that's probably why people like this one the least, or like usually near the bottom of the list, is just because everything in season 2 is so good, and this one's just good. Yeah. So I think it's just by comparison that people like it a little bit less. I don't love the episode by any stretch. I might even say it's my least favorite of the season. I want to make sure I rewatch the whole thing for this before I make that bold claim, but it might be lower on the end. And I think my major reason for that, and we can kind of start talking about it, is I kind of agree with Doc Hammer and Jackson Public on Baron Underbite. Like, I don't think there is much to do with him, and I think this episode kind of shows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Because it's like, even with Phantom Limb, he kind of plays off as like super high professional, this, that, the other. Actually, yeah, we didn't even really mention that in the last episode where Doctor misses the girlfriend, Queen Etheria.
Graham, you still there? You start breaking up like crazy.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. You just want to start that point over again because I have no idea what you're saying because I lost you.
Okay. Let me see if I can catch it. Yeah, when you talk about Phantom Limb, he's kind of at like another level to where it's like he is capable of doing all this crazy stuff. Is powerful, got powerful tools and all this stuff, can kill people with his bare hands and all that stuff. But then with Baron von Underbite, he is kind of similar in that way, but he's just really freaking serious and really wants to kill Dr. Venture as hard as possible. Yeah. Whereas Phantom Limb really just couldn't be bothered. He's annoyed by people who are lesser than him, and that's how he kind of gets involved, but then he kind of like, whatever, I don't really need to be involved in all that much. Whereas Baron von Underbite, that's his core thing. Like, even as they're walking down the hall, Brok and Rusty are having that discussion of like, oh, come on, he's not that bad. He doesn't really hate me all that much. He's like, Rusty, like, look around. And then you see all of the posters and stuff with like his mouth crossed out and all of the stuff like, kill, if you see this man, kill him. That type of stuff. And it's like, it's really, it's kind of a hard thing to do with that type of guy. Because realistically, he's very serious. He's very intent on killing Dr. Venture, and he's very capable of doing it.
Yeah, when my wife and I were watching this episode last night, the thing that we kind of stuck on wasn't so much of like how capable is Underbite or like how menacing or anything like that. It's just, how does he fit into the real world? And I think that's kind of, I don't know for sure. I haven't looked into why Doc Hammer and Public stopped using him as much. I know they said they just kind of ran out of ideas for him. And I think that's kind of where it comes down to, because he has Underland. So he doesn't fit in the real world. And everything else in the show is ludicrous for the real world. And that's why it's funny. Because it's like you take a crazy villain like the Monarch or Phantom Limb or Wide Whale, like these stupidly crazy characters, and force them into modern day New York or modern day wherever. And you can't really do that with Underbite. Because Underbite is so built to be in Underland with the Resistance fighting him. And it's just very much like... It doesn't gel with the rest of the show in the way that I think they originally planned or thought that he would.
Yeah, he has his own world. He's created his own little niche universe.
Yeah. And I do like it when he comes back as part of the Revenge Society. I think they make it work, but it still it never felt as like good and meaty as it did in seasons 1 and 2. But I don't really miss him once he's gone. Like, it's not one of those characters like if they got rid of Hatred, I'd be annoyed. Like, I love Hatred. I think Hatred's a great character, and like they keep him around one way or another. And when Underbite disappeared, it wasn't like, damn, where'd he go? It was more just like, oh, okay, I guess we did enough with him. And I mostly think that's because of this episode. Like, we really get 100% underbite in this episode.
Oh, yeah. You're fully there and fully invested, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've seen Underland before. We've seen the Resistance fighters before. We've seen all of this, for the most part, in one way or another, before this. But this is the first time, I think, that we really spend this much time, like, really getting to know how it all works. And it's really the first and only time that like, this is like an Underland episode. Like, it's almost like a off-world, like, offshoot. Like, if they were trying to do a spin-off called Underland, like, this would be the soft pilot mixed into the season. Kind of how they did with, like, The Office and, like, the Dwight's, like, farm show. Like, if we were to make the show, it'd be like this and just sneak it into The Office that one episode. This kind of feels like the same thing, but for Underland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because really, we only get him in context with other things, like with Michael Suriyama.
Yeah.
And then the weird, I don't want to say weird, but the segment intro where he kills, air quotes, Girl Hitler,
Yeah.
Cat Klops, and Manic 8 Ball, which they all come back here. So.
Yeah, so he failed.
Which goes back to the thing about failure.
Yeah.
With this episode. Like, even their most serious, capable, driven villain is still failing. And again, he fails up and down all of this episode.
Yeah. And but I think that's the major thing, though, is that I still think it's a good episode. Like, I still think it's funny. Like, I think all the comedic points work. I love Bat Hank. I think Bat Hank is one of my favorite characters ever. Like, obviously, no offense, Richard, but like this is one of those episodes I'm really sad that Nick can't be here, because Nick, for Halloween one year went as Hank as Batman. like that's just, it's just so brilliant. Like, everything about Bat Hank is so good. Like, all the way down to the all right, so every year we go to this Halloween costume contest and we always fail because at the last minute Hank shows up as Batman. And it really just goes like, all right, why don't you just fucking go as Batman characters? Like, you're just so determined to go against Hank. Like, you're gonna win if you just go as Batman characters. You'll be fine. Brok can go as Clayface. You'll be good to go. Or Bane. Like, there's so many characters he can be.
But he spent a month coming up with that costume Wookiee.
Yeah, and that's why he won Best Costume.
I like the throwaway line where it's like, the Impossible Family did a really good Fantastic Four, where, like, the Fantastic Four exists in that universe.
That's
Hold on 1 second. Somebody say something.
Hello.
There we go. My headphones crapped out for a second.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was very silent, so I can delete everything Richard was saying on my end that was picked up at the microphone. So you were saying, I'm sorry, Fantastic Four? What did I miss?
Where the Impossible Family did a really good, pretty good Fantastic Four.
I love how they do, like, the way they just kind of bring pop culture in. It's just always fun. And, like, the fact they made Dean Slave Leia is just...
It works.
It works. I love a world where you have Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Slave Leia. Like, you didn't want a Luke or a Han Solo? Any of these male characters? Nah, we're going for Slave Leia. Like, had they not...
Hank was probably going to be Luke, so there.
I guess that's true. He could have been one of the other two. We don't know who he was supposed to be. We know that he is the Bat.
I am the Bat.
And my God, like, we've talked about it ad nausea on this show, but I still want to talk about it. The little conversations that have nothing to do with the rest of the show, they bring me so much joy, and I think this might be my favorite one beyond the one that ends with the pole going through the mouth as he pole vaults over the fence.
Yes.
That one is so good. But this one has the ow! What happened? I caught my tongue in the little slit. Why don't you just stop doing that? I can't help it. It's maddening. And then later, the henchmen talking to each other like that. Oh, I caught my tongue in there. Why do you keep doing that?
I can't. It's maddening. Oh, you should have had the last ones. They didn't have any slits at all.
I like when Hank lands and there's all that blood, and it's because he cut his tongue on the slit.
Hank, are you okay? Yeah, I cut my tongue on the yeah, that's definitely my favorite moment of this episode. It's just those references. And I thought it might be one of my favorite quotes of, I don't know. I don't want to say of the season, but definitely as I was watching even the last episode, which also had Bat Hank in it, I was like, oh, this is my tongue gets stuck in the mouth slit part. Oh wait, no, that's the next episode. But I love it so much.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where you love it so much because we still grew up in that era where we still had plastic masks, and let me tell you, it was maddening.
It was. So you just want to stick your tongue through it, but it cut your tongue so bad.
Oh, it hurt so much, but you couldn't help it. It was maddening. Let's move a little bit and talk about the wedding. Got to talk about the wedding.
Oh man,
like
so disturbing. And I think one of my, it's like not at the actual wedding, but like leading up to it. But when Baron von Underbite is in his bedroom with Manic 8-Ball tied up,
oh, poor Manic 8-Ball.
That whole conversation between them is just so ridiculous. Like the last question I think he asked, he's like, "Oh, will I have a boy?" And then Manic 8-Ball just shakes and gives the answer. Is like, "In the end, I think so. Yes." It's like, it's like, oh god. It's so good, so well executed.
I like how he was gonna release him for the wedding, and then he just shakes it and it just says asshole, so he can talk.
Yeah.
He just chews and talk like an 8-ball.
I love Manic 8-Ball. Like these little characters from the side, like I from Underland, like I really enjoy them, and it's one of those things where I wonder if they were actual like main characters, would I get tired of them? Mm-hmm. Like if Catclop showed up more often than like the handful of episodes, or Girl Hitler, like would I be tired of them? Because they entertain me like crazy in these actual episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
I think. Yeah, I love Girl Hitler. I can't quite wrap my head around just Girl Hitler as a character. But it's just, I have had like plenty of Girl Hitler. I'm not sure like I need any more, but like I love how they develop the characters you don't expect, like 21 and 24 and Watch and Ward.
Oh, Watch and Ward.
And like you see these like smaller characters you don't even think about like flesh out and become these like human beings.
Yeah, and it's interesting like the ones they pick, because like I feel like Girl Hitler feels like one they could have done that with, and it just didn't work out for some reason. I do like that she ends up being president. Like that whole speech with Hank at the end, Hank and Dean, like that's so progressive. And a Hitler. Like
things are really turning around.
But like it's interesting. Like I would really like to know some of that like inner science of like why do they pick certain characters to explore and build up and do more with, and why not the other ones. Like to get an actual answer of like why no Kim? Is it just the fans' fault for demanding it so much? Like it's interesting. And I even bought the Go Team Venture book that I will be getting hopefully tomorrow, and maybe that answer will be in there. Who knows?
I think I read like an interview. Public said that sometimes he goes on to like the messaging forums where people do theories, and then just to like try to subvert expectations, or he tries not to read anything besides like Billy Quizboy and Peter White like erotic fanfic.
Oh my god.
That's a well I don't need to dive into. Although I totally would. It sounds very interesting, but Pete White's just such a horrible friend.
It's the worst. Hey fella.
Oh, he's the worst. Here, let me dive into my notes here really quick and see what I'm missing, because I know there's so much to talk about with that wedding. Oh, we gotta talk about the eunuchs. Like, I love the eunuchs. Those were the only characters that I really wish had come back. Like, after the whole thing had gone away, like, everyone in Underland is free. We're gonna make it a happy place to visit. I wish the eunuchs had gone with Dean. Like, just if they could just be, like, his buddies, it would have been so much fun. Like, they're just so mean.
They're really amazing, and I think I don't know their names, but the first one who comes up is like, what? Like, how did you even get here?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do some traveling, and I was mad at somebody. Crap. It's just like, so good.
It's so good. And then, like, when she finally gets Dean naked, or he finally gets Dean naked, and like just the screaming back and forth, like I'm a eunuch. What's your excuse? Like, it's just so bitchy. Like, but they're a fun character. Like, they're fun characters, and they're fun in the way of, like, it's, again, why I like this show. Like, because they could have just been completely one-off that they don't care about, but you can totally feel them, like, ingrained in the world. Like, it felt like, oh, yeah, these aren't just here just to be, like, these one-off jokes. Like, they fit into Underland, into everything Baron Underbite does. Like, it all just worked. And, like, if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd like those characters as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're just...
I mean, it's...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, with that and with everything else about this show and about Underland, like, they do really pay attention to the minute details, one, of these characters, and then also, like, when they are first coming in, they're like, all right, put them in the holding cell. It's like, we don't have a holding cell. It's like, yeah, which we've established before, they don't have a holding cell because he just kills everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, put them in the pantry! And I think it's again, this show is so incredible at paying attention to the minute details of all of that stuff and references it, and then has a very good memory of itself.
Yeah. And, like, even, like, the jokes in the episode, like, it's just those things where, like, if you're not paying attention, you miss so much. Like, it doesn't feel like a show you need to, like, watch it, like, under a magnifying glass each episode. But, like, the whole... And then we got thrown into jail. Technically the pantry. Like, it's just, like... like, everything is just always so sharp and on point. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Like...
Where's my dad? In the pantry. Where's my brother? In the pantry. Where's our bodyguard? They're all in the same place, so he's in the pantry.
I think my favorite joke is when, like, Hank's giving Dr. Venture Rusty the pep talk, and he's, like, talking about how Rusty spent a significant amount of time trying to isolate and eliminate the gauge.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you would have done it too. For all the protesters.
God, Rusty's just a scumbag.
Anything for money.
See, the thing is, I think he would have been able to do it if, like, he didn't meet resistance. Like, he created, like, a weird euphoria chamber powered by an orphan solar heart.
Oh, yeah. Or even in season 7, like, I'm not going to spoil things, he has a major success. Like, the biggest success he's ever had beyond cloning, which we're still not sure how much was the Rusty, how much was actual original Dr. Venture. We're not entirely sure who came with the cloning. This one was him, and he did it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a great episode. Like, great episode.
You kind of forget how good of a scientist he actually is when he applies himself.
Yeah, like, he can actually do things that isn't just failure. Like, it's weird when it happens. But man, like, I don't want to spoil things for Graham, but the human testing on that invention in season 7 destroyed me. Like, I had to rewind and watch it like twice. Like, it's so good. Graham, you need to catch up to season 7 so I can actually make these jokes.
I'm working on it. I also just remember the Ure from season 1.
Oh my god.
I don't know what the military wants with it, but...
Is there anything we haven't hit in this episode? We didn't really talk much about, like, the reveal of Dean being a boy, but that really wasn't, like, the heart of it for me. Yeah, like, the whole overthrow at the end, I felt like I know the main reason we didn't talk about it much because it felt kind of rushed. Like, everything, it was all about, like, the joke of, like, will he figure it out, and then we're just kind of done with it. It all just kind of ends.
It happens very quickly. Of, like, he gets, arrested for, same-sex marriage, and that joke of, like, I don't think there's a law against underage marriage, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It happens very quickly.
Yeah.
I like the joke where like these past 2 episodes, like this one and the one before, Brok is interrogating someone, or like he's doing what Brok does, but then things change and he has to like accommodate it. Like he's grabbing someone's junk and twisting, and then he just stops, and the guy's like, "Why'd you stop?" And he's like, I found a lump.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "You're sorry."
I'm gonna go tell my wife.
I think
I forgot about that. That is an incredible scene. I love that so much.
It is so damn funny. Like, just so... Like, that. I know it's a bad time, but if you could tell us where the wedding was... Yeah, it's over there. I don't even care anymore. I think this is around the time that the fans started getting grumpy that Brok wasn't as violent as he was in season 1. Because like they still have the glimmers of it every now and then, but like by mid-season 3, or maybe the end of season 3, fans were legitimately upset that Brok wasn't just like throwing people in paper shredders anymore. And I think this episode, specifically with that joke, I think does a good job showing what like Hammer and Public were talking about of like, but we've seen that. Like, how many times do you need to see super violent Brok? And I don't remember which one of it was, but he's like, I always assumed that Brok's just like in between episodes out there ripping people's heads off and trying to talk through their vocal cords and going, "I'm you," but in their voice. And like, you look up the interview; he says it way funnier than I do. But it's like, I like.
Well, honestly, who doesn't do that?
Yeah. But like, I feel like this is like the beginning of that. Of like, let's show a different side of Brok. Just assume the other side's still there. But like, we've seen that. Like, we've seen those jokes. We've seen the uber violence jokes. Let's see what
even
else.
Last episode.
Yeah, like let's see what else we can do with them, and I appreciate that. Like I like that's what I always come back to with Venture Brothers. Like they know when a joke's played out, and they know when to change it and start new things. And I think specifically with Brok, that I was going to torture you to death, but I found testicular cancer potentially. Maybe I'll stop. Moment is like that's like the beginning of that. Like let's try new jokes with Brok, and I like that. I think it works.
Yeah, and he's about to have a major shift too in season 3, so I think this works, kind of like building his character. For that, and it's again talks to the strength of the show to where it's like you can carry arcs of characters throughout seasons. Yeah, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I think this one does a really good job of. This one is like it might be the first pebble kicked of like, all right, we're changing Brok just a little bit. He's still Brok, but we're gonna not necessarily soften the edges, but just show different angles.
Yeah. And right before this too, he's talking about Hank. He was talking to Hank about how to properly interrogate a prisoner or whatever. Yeah. And so it's funny to see him. Yeah, leave one alive, so that we can ask him questions. We're like, who are you working for? We already know that.
I love that. Can we just mention really quick that Hank fucking gives a wedgie to the guy as he's walking away?
What? I didn't get to do anything. I think that moment and the moment right like before leading into the scene when Hank's just like moving his hands around trying to do hand signals and stuff like that. And Brock's like, you have no idea what any of that means, do you? You're just having fun with your hands, aren't you?
Yes, I do. Oh, Hank. Such a good character. All right, well, let's move into pop culture references. I'm kind of torn on mine. They're all kind of the same one. I just don't know which one to go for. But I'm going to go for Kiss. I think Kiss has to be my favorite one. When they're going through all of the costumes that fucking Hank has ruined, my favorite one had to be Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and the Bat. It's so good just because like they don't say the band Kiss, they just start naming off the characters, so like you have to have a little bit of knowledge like foresight, but like just a little bit, and I can just picture that costume contest, and it's so good. And it's
how Hank.
It's one of those few moments where like they showed a little restraint. Like I feel like other shows would have shown each one of those costumes, because it's not like it's a live action show. You don't have to go buy those costumes. You just have to draw it, and there could be a single frame of just they don't even be animated. But like it's just go on the words alone, and if you know who they're talking about, it's funny, and if you don't, you don't, and it's so good, like just perfect.
Works really well.
I like how Hank dresses as the 1960s like Adam West Batman.
Oh, of course,
the goofiest Batman too.
Yeah, no Christian Bale or Michael Keaton. I wanted to say Val Kilmer, but I stopped myself.
I'll say it, Val Kilmer.
But no George Clooney
the
fans
best
up
one.
in here? No Ben Affleck's?
Or George Clooney?
Yeah. No nipples for anybody? No nipples on the costume for anybody?
I think they should have been painted on in a different color. I don't like the texture.
They should have been bat nipples. I mean, come on. He should have had 8 of them up and down his chest.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
That
in
would have
shape
fixed
of
the
little
movie.
bat wings.
The one issue with that movie.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the only problem. There's not enough nipples
other
on the
than that,
bat
it's
suit.
fine.
Yeah. You have bat nipples, you should have bat nipples. Come on. Anyhow. Graham, what was yours?
We've already mentioned it, but it was I keep getting my tongue stuck in the mouth slit. Quit sticking it through there. I can't. It's maddening. It's like we mentioned. It was like being a kid. We've all had those masks, and it is maddening. And it's gosh dang it.
The thing is, I have a kid now, and like, granted, he's very, very little. He's 4 months old, but
Yes. Don't put a mask on that baby.
No, it'd be a bad idea. He'd love it. He'd just immediately just shove it in his mouth. He'd have a great time. He'd cut his tongue so badly though. But like,
Yes.
my wife and I are looking at like Halloween costumes and stuff, and like obviously we're looking for baby ones, but we're looking at the bigger kids ones too. Those masks are gone. Like they've stopped.
Yeah.
them, and it's kind of
Oh.
it's kind of too bad. They don't.
No, it's not. It's really good. Really, really, really good.
I think that's an essential part of life. It builds character.
Yeah. Like,
You learn self-control.
how is your tongue supposed to get stronger?
Here's a hot take. The only reason people are doing more drugs these days is because they haven't learned self-control from tongue slit masks.
There you go. Yep.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
the war on drugs in a nutshell.
They all came out of Richard Nixon. So that was it.
We're tackling the hard questions here at Venture Bros.
My favorite pop culture reference was like all the Star Wars things,
Yeah.
like the underbite stuff, but especially Chewie Brok carrying Helper, like the C-3PO backpack from
That's
Empire
so
Strikes
good.
Back. It's just like a sort of a throwaway image gag.
Such a good moment, though. Oh, man. Oy. Okay, I think we should move into the end of this thing. I think it's time for plugs. You guys ready to plug? Plug away?
Always.
Always, Graham's always ready with his hot plugs. So for me, of course, listen to After the Hype. I believe Hereditary should be coming out this Thursday, or it came out last Thursday. I'm bad with time. Either way, that was a great episode. You should definitely listen to it. I really enjoyed talking about it. I don't record this in advance. I've definitely seen it. So we have that one, and then, of course, listen to Samwise. I'm not sure if the single stream has started yet, so it might still be After the Hype. But be sure to check it out. Sam is crushing it. And again, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I'll do the very short pitch. Any and all of life's big questions can be answered through Lord of the Rings. And I need to clarify, it's not the books. It's the Peter Jackson movies that Sam is using. And the special features that come in like the 5-hour editions. Any of life's questions she can answer using those movies and the special features. And like we've had big questions of like childhood robberies of like kids stealing things. She's tackled that. What is the meaning of life? She's answered that. Things about work, like really like obscure questions you wouldn't think she could do. She can. She does. You need to listen to it. And if you have any questions, you need to reach out at this email address here. Thank you, Post. And there's a phone number that is also on all of our websites that you should call and leave your voicemails. And please do. Like it's a fun, really, really well done show. That's it for me. For Nick, I'll throw it out there. Assassin's Creed Odyssey in stores now. Reviews are very, very good. They say it's the best one possibly of this console generation, which is impressive. Everyone should pick it up. I hear awesome things, and I can't wait to play my own copy of it. Because I'm going to go against the grain of what we said to do, of pick it up and put it back down. I'm going to play the game. I know.
Can you do that?
I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to actually play the game.
I don't know, Brian.
And when
I don't know
all the
about
audio sucks, I am going to scream at Nick. Like, what the fuck were you doing the whole time?
I don't think the world's ready for that yet.
I know, it's gonna
game.
be bold. It's gonna be daring.
You should probably just play it on mute.
Yeah. Oh, Nick would be so annoyed. Oh, what'd you think? I played it on mute because fuck you.
So I don't know. Honestly, couldn't tell you. I was making my own sound effects.
Yeah, they were way better. It's like there's no guns in this game. Whatever.
Climbing.
Climbing, falling.
Right hand, left hand, right foot, left. Right hand, left hand, right foot, left.
Bing.
I would totally play
Arrow,
this game.
arrow.
Stab. All right, we're done. Graham,
so
anything?
now
Are you plugging anything? Anything at all?
No,
Okay.
nothing at all. Nope. Been playing softball. That's cool.
Cool. Richard, anything to plug?
You can try to track me down on Instagram at Richard King Lee. Sometimes I tweet at King Richard Lee. And you can listen to a band that I'm not in but is named after me called Smooth Richard, soundcloud.com/smoothrichard.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you like the band, or is it just cool that they named it after you?
Yeah, I think they're pretty good.
Okay.
If you like rock.
Yeah. No, they're awful, but whatever.
It's a nice hobby, They should get like a nice stable job like screenwriting or animating.
Yeah. All of those
Right.
guaranteed money makers.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hopping on for these past 2 episodes, Richard. It's been a joy.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
And,
Thank you.
I will say goodbye there. So, bye.
Bye.